Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Rajratan Global Wire Limited Q4 FY23 earnings conference call hosted by Batlivala and Karani Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sailesh Raja from Batlivala and Karani Securities Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Tanvi. Good evening, all, and thank you for joining us for Rajratan Global Wire Limited fourth quarter of FY23 earnings conference call. From the management side, today we'll be hearing from Mr. Sunil Choudhary, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Yashovardhan, Executive Director of the company, and Mr. Pranay Jain, CFO, Rajratan Thailand, and Mr. Hitesh Jain, CFO from Rajratan India. I would now like to turn the call to Chairman sir for the opening remarks, followed by Q&A. Sunil sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sailesh, and thank you all the investors for participating in this conference call. I am happy to be talking to you all again today after our board meeting where we have declared performance of last year. Unfortunately, this year has not been a big growth for Rajratan, and more particularly for our Thailand business. The India business has grown in volume by about 8%. So volume in India sales have from 55,000 tons is close to 60,000 tons. So we are satisfied with that. Thailand business could not grow. Rather, there was a degrowth in tonnage from 35,000 tons last year. We have been able to do around 30,000 tons. The obvious reasons for poor performance of Thailand was the well-known problem of Ukraine-Russia war, which reduced the exports to Europe and also to America because of the recession in America. The tire companies which are producing tires in Thailand were not operating at full efficiency. They were operating at 50-60% efficiency level. So their demand was low. Our direct sales of bead wire to America, which was very robust before last year. So in last year, we couldn't do much of sales to American market of wire. Also, the Europe demand was muted. So there was very little export of bead wire to Europe. So these were the reasons for lower performance in Thailand. We, of course, have some learning from this last year, okay, because we were very motivated and we were, before last year's performance, where company was not able to supply to customers and fulfill the requirement and demand. So, but we have recently in last 2 quarters, we have seen China coming back in the business. So there is one Chinese company which has also started supplies to Thailand market. And somehow we decided that not to drop the prices. Okay, so volume suffered. But taking a learning from there, this year our strategy will be to use the capacity. It is not wise to not use the capacity and focus only on the price. So this year we have decided to go full blast. Wherever we are getting contribution, we will continue producing and selling to capture the bigger market share. India, I am hopeful of growth this year also. We are projecting a growth of around 15% in India from current year of close to 60,000. We are talking of 70,000 tons total production in FY24. In Thailand, our strategy is to use the enhanced capacity of production, which has now become 60,000 tons, and we plan to do minimum 40,000 tons in Thailand. So from the current last year's 30,000 tons, we will minimum do 40,000 tons, even if it requires compromising on the price. But we will make up in the bottom line by lower cost of production at high productivity level, continuous production, and that is what we want to do. And I'm optimistic for the next year. I am also satisfied with the last year's performance because there was a turmoil in the global market. Okay, so if you compare our performance with the competitors globally, I keep doing that regularly. I'm satisfied with the performance of Rajratan. So I'm here to answer your questions. My team is here. Yashovardhan is also on the call. He'll answer the specific questions about Thailand. Our CFOs are here. If you have any questions on the financials or balance sheet, they'll be able to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of CA Garvit Goyal, Invest Research. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, Garvit.
Yes, sir. You mentioned some competition coming from the Chinese companies, and this severe competition is basically leading to fall in the margins, right? And this quarter margins are basically below or almost equal to those were in pre-COVID levels. So how do you see the change in the business economics of the company near to medium term? And how do you see the margins shaping up from here due to entry of these Chinese players? And you are talking about the price erosion going forward.
Yeah, so as I told you, our learning from last year's performance is that, some of the customers asked for lower price and we didn't agree, and we lost that counter, or we lost those volumes. Okay, so the overall profitability in the company comes from not only price, it also comes from volume. And bead wire is a product where if we run the factory continuously, the cost of production goes down. So we will strike a balance between these two. And of course, our selling price will have to become more competitive to get a larger market share. But there will also be a saving in the cost of production. So we will balance between these two, and longer run, it is advisable to continue with the market share. Okay. Yeah. So
what is your EBITDA margin guidance for FY24?
In Thailand, we will be able to do around 14-15%. Yeah.
And in India?
In India, it will be above 18%. That is, we have this year also been able to do, and I don't see that competition in India. We are busy in India. We have operated the plant at good operating level. Okay. Yeah.
So how do you see this competition coming in? Like, is it a temporary one, or is it going to affect the long-term structural change of the industry, like we were before COVID?
I don't see it is going to make a big change in long term, because in 25 years of this product, I have seen China coming and going back. Okay, many times. So we are not sure. You know what happened in China? They were closed because of COVID. They opened up. Their government also pushed them to, revive the economy. So they again become aggressive. Okay, how long that will continue? There is the Chinese economy is also opening up. So they will have their own consumption. So, but I am not sure how long this will continue. But even at that price, we are profitable. So, of course, the percentage of profit will reduce, but volume should make for it. Yeah.
So what is your earnings growth guidance for FY24? Overall earnings growth guidance?
Overall earning growth guidance remains the same, ballpark number of 18% EBITDA consolidated.
No, I was asking for the bottom line aspect, like we did around 102 CR of PAT. So how do you see this growing up in FY24?
No, we are talking of 15 to 20% growth in business and EBITDA margin of 18%. I think you can do the calculation.
Overall EBITDA margin will still remain 18%, you are saying?
Yeah.
Okay, right. And so we started supplying Michelin. Currently, they are having their plant in India for truck and bus tires, and they are also considering passenger car tires manufacturing in India, in Chennai particularly. So, how we look at this as an opportunity for us? Any development or any update that you wish to share with us based on any conversation?
We are the only supplier to Michelin in India. Okay. Last quarter we got approval, and we are supplying 100% of Michelin's requirement. So, any increased requirement for passenger tire will be supplied by Rajratan only. But this kind of news is more about tire products and all that. That it is not multiplying the demand. Okay, it is going to be percentage incremental demand from those customers.
Okay, understood. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amay Mittal from Invest Research. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Amay.
Sir, can you give some flavor on the recent conversations that you told in an interview that you had with your customers, prospective customers, and what is the feel that you are getting in terms of demand outlook and stuff?
Recently I attended two ATMA conference, Automotive Tire Manufacturer Associations. In one of the conference, I was a speaker on availability of bead wire and, because they also want to ensure availability of raw material. So the interaction and the presentations made in those conferences were very optimistic, very bullish. They are talking of the Indian tire market to grow to 1,65,000 crores from the current level of 65,000 crores. So what it is, 65,000 crores in FY23 will grow to 1,65,000 crores in 2030. Okay, that is the minimum they are saying. So, and they are all aligning their production capacities, keeping in mind that we also see a very strong demand in Q4, okay, in tire, and our interactions with customers is positive. They are also anticipating bigger, doubling the export of tires from India. Okay, so we are going by what our customers are saying.
Okay. And sir, you also spoke about the increased intensive competition from China, which has come up, right? And you have also articulated that the range of measures that you are taking, including, I think, going for volume rather than the particular rate at which the customers are asking for. So you are saying that this state would continue for a near term or a mid-term level, or do you think that this might change? This stiff competition that you're speaking of.
It is always difficult to predict Chinese behavior. Okay. So it is equally difficult today also to predict how long they will try and sell. But they have not been able to take market share from premium customers. Okay, where the prices are better. I am talking about losing volume in certain counters in Thailand, which are Chinese companies who were buying from us before last year. But last year they didn't buy. They bought from Chinese suppliers. So there is a learning. We would like to start supplying to them also. to fill up our capacities. It is not wise, and that capacity is also contributing something. It is not a loss making. जेब से हमारे कुछ नहीं जा रहा है. So that is the conscious decision we have taken. Yeah.
Okay. And what about this, your effort on finding new customers at other geographies? For example, you are speaking about looking for customers in Europe and stuff. Well, I understand that there are some problematic times that we are facing in Europe, but are we proceeding ahead in terms of de-risking our exports, focusing only on a specific geo?
Yeah, so Yashovardhan will talk in little detail about a specific customers, but I can say very encouraging response from customers. Yashovardhan, can you elaborate this?
Yeah, I'll do that. So just a small clarification I wanted to make on the Chinese competition. It's not something which has happened suddenly. The supplier has been there since multiple years. So there's not that any new supplier has come in and there is something of a surprise right now. I think it's more of a demand supply situation. The demand in the last 2-3 quarters internationally has been very bad. And specifically Chinese beadware companies also faced issues of lockdowns and their domestic economy not running well. So definitely we are seeing a pickup in first quarter in Thailand, and things should be much better from now on in the Thailand market. Regarding the new prospective customers, as we mentioned in the couple of previous calls, we are doing extensive work in reaching out to global customers. And let me tell you that the results are really encouraging. It is slightly beyond what we had expected in terms of how things are developing with multinational companies. We are in discussion with Michelin Europe for global supplies. We are in discussion with Bridgestone, Continental and Goodyear. And at all these 3 places, we are under approval. So it has moved to the next step. Plus, we had not expected the Korean tire industry being open for us, but we are at a much advanced stage of approval with 3-4 Korean tire companies. So all of this is definitely encouraging. This is giving us more plants or in Southeast Asian region for immediate supply, and for long term, which is maybe next year, we will see a lot of volumes going to Europe and America. So the development with new customers is quite good, but it's not.
We have also started a marketing office in Europe for last 3 months. And as you know, the beadwire approval process is long, so it will take about a year to start volumes to Europe. Yeah.
Yes. So what I was saying is we have not taken any. We have not taken any incremental volume increase of new prospects within this year. Conservatively, we have kept it for futuristic case. We considered in the next year's business.
Okay. And any idea like who would be supplying to them, say for in Europe? It would be China, is it? Competitors?
Yeah, so we have had detailed discussions. Last 6 months discussions were more strategic, more long-term, more to understand, like customers wanted to understand our capability. So the recent line that we have installed in Thailand, most of the MNC companies have already visited. And I'm happy to share with you that they find it really impressive. And they are looking at Rajratan as one of the only beadware companies who's investing into new technology at the moment, right now, because globally there's not much investment happening in beadware. All companies are strategically talking of de-risking themselves from China. So
yeah,
dominantly China was supplying. Yeah, so dominantly China was supplying to multiple locations in the world, and now many companies are looking at India and specifically Southeast Asian countries as an alternate location.
Okay. And one last question, sir. what about that new plant coming up in Chennai? I know that when we spoke about all this expansion, one of the drivers for that is your customers who are asking you to increase your capacities, isn't it? So, how are you looking at this facility shaping up and contributing to revenues?
Yeah. So when I'm saying this, I'm giving projections for volume this year. We are not considering any volume from Chennai, but we have a definitive plan to start production in second half of this year. So the building is ready, machines have started reaching there. The installation work is on. We are not rushing up to start production because anyway, we have open capacity in Thailand, which has to be filled. We also have some marginal capacity available in India, which can be utilized for customer servicing. And to start with, we have started supplies from that factory, the material which is produced in Indore, but we are supplying from Chennai location, so that we get bigger counter share of tire companies around Chennai area. Okay, so those things are happening. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. That's it from me.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Shah from KSA Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for opportunity. Sir, first, Yashoji, congratulations for promoting yourself to Executive Director. You really deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And, so you explained very well about the what are the opportunities coming to our way, like growing domestic demand by tire industry by 2025, 2020, 2030. And the other thing is that demand coming from customers who want to de-risk themselves from China. These are a very positive what we have been hearing. Is there anything else which we find where we can fill in our Chennai capacity as early as possible? And when do you see that? And number two, what are the challenges you see for next 2-3 years which we have to take care of?
So, yeah, you want to answer?
No, you can, then I will add on to the point.
Yeah. So, the Chennai plan has been well thought of. It is a long-term plan to have 3 viable capacities in the world to supply 15% of the global demand. Okay. We are in the lowest cost country. So viable, even the discussions with the European customers, of course the business will come after 1 year, but the price and the indication of price is very profitable. Okay. So we are continuing on that. And I have in every call said that we are in a competitive business and we are in a difficult product where approval takes time, where we also have competition. Okay. But we have certain advantages in terms of profitability, in terms of cost of production, because of our location, because of our low cost of capex, and because of the innovation we have been doing for several years. If you have gone through our presentation, which is uploaded on the website and stock exchange site, this year we have spent a lot of time on adopting digitalization. So the Rajratan Pithampur mother factory is now a digital factory. We are not using registers and papers to collect data. So all that is saving huge time of supervisors and managers. We are also working very seriously on TPM, which we think is the ultimate system in production, manufacturing. So we target to get TPM certification by 2025. Last week we have signed an MOU with CF. They were meeting us. They have again chosen Rajratan to become the partner in their grand damming journey. Okay. We have also signed an agreement with JK Tires, who have decided to go for Grand Damming Award. So this speaks about our quality. Okay, so that we have the partnerships with the key company for developing better product, for becoming their partners for bead wire supply.
Right. And so my question was regarding challenges. What are the threats which we see and we'd like to overcome?
देखिए संजय जी, चैलेंज ये है कि थोड़ा डिले हो सकता है. मैं कुछ चीज सोच रहा हूँ, लाइक लास्ट ईयर इट हैपेंड. ओके, वी गॉट जियोपॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम, यूक्रेन वॉर हो गया, इकोनॉमी यूरोप की बैठ गई, इंपोर्ट कम हो गया. ओके, फ्यूल प्राइसेस वेंट टू स्काई हाई, transportation cost across the globe went to 5 times. A container cost to America was $25,000, more than the cost of bead wire we supplied to them. Now during the same year it has come down to 1/5 again. Okay, right. So this major changes in the transportation cost, major bottlenecks in the geopolitical situations have hampered our performance also. So with all those challenges, if any such challenge comes, we don't know, okay, right, which can delay our plan. Otherwise, I don't think a major challenge.
Sir, our aspiration to have a 15% global share with this all three units, what is our current global share, any ballpark?
The current global share is close to 8% today. 8%, yes. The global demand is supposed to be 1.2, 1.3 million tons, and we have done 90,000 tons.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and 1. The next question is from the line of Jinesh Gandhi from Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Just one clarification. For the India business, we have seen volumes going up by 20% vis-a-vis previous quarter, that is December quarter. But despite that, margins have corrected by about 130 basis points. So any one-offs there, or this is just general cost pressure which we are seeing?
No, this is because of the change in the raw material price. Okay.
Okay.
So there was, yeah. But if you look at the EBITDA, the delta, which is the cost difference between the wire rod and wire, we have remained the same. Yeah.
Okay. And this should be, that RM cost should be stable going forward.
It has further softened in first quarter. Okay. And the market outlook going forward is also soft. So now steel companies are not talking very high. Okay.
Right.
They are under pressure now, cost pressure or price pressure, I'll say. Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, you talked about not expecting any contribution from Chennai factory in FY24. So does it mean that we will also not be claiming PLI incentive in FY24? Would that be right assessment?
Yeah, you have said right. I was in Delhi last week. There was a conference of steel. There was a steel conference in which there was one session on PLI on steel products, and we have made representation to shift, 1 year.
Okay.
The production base should be shifted by 1 year because our agreement and bank guarantees are linked to starting production and claiming PLI in the current year, which we have requested them for obvious reasons to shift from next year. But it will be available within 5 years. Okay, so instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll take 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, which has been agreed upon by the Steel Ministry.
Got it. And lastly,
even if we make production of 5,000-7,000 tons, we will not claim PLI this year.
Yeah, which makes sense.
और PLI में क्या इतने rigid उन्होंने agreements किए हैं that if I'm claiming 14,000 in first year, I can claim 14 only, not 15, not 13. Okay.
Right.
And the next year growth should be 25% of the previous year. तो हमने कुछ डाटा लिख के दिया है कि हम ऐसे करेंगे, तो that goes well from next year onwards now.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
And lastly, with respect to CapEx, so this year we had about 110 crore in India and about 55 odd crore in Thailand. How do we expect to spread this in FY24 between India and Thailand?
In Thailand, with major capex is not required now. All that has been done. If the market is very buoyant, we have to install few more wire drying machines, which may be 5-7 crores maximum capex required. But in Chennai, we will start production with some more capex. Okay. So we are committing a capex of 160 crores total to start production. Okay. And then the remaining will come in the next year.
Okay. So 160 crore is not for FY24 for Chennai, but overall.
We have, out of 160 we have done. 135 has been done. So maybe another 30-40 crores of investment and we'll start production.
Got it. Got it. Okay, sir. Great. Thanks and all the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Radha Agarwal. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, I'm audible.
Yeah, Radha.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So, my first question was with respect to Thailand gross profits. So, the gross profit per ton has fallen on a QOQ basis significantly. So, one, could you explain the reason for this, and by when can you see sequential improvement in this?
Yeah, so I told you the reduction is because of lower volume. Okay. And we are facing price pressure in Thailand. We have not been able to achieve the volume, required volume. That is the reason. The strategy this year is to continue working on volumes, not to lose the market share. So you won't see a big jump in the volume in the margins in Thailand, but you will see a bigger jump in the volumes, overall business there, which we should be able to maintain the profitability, and overall performance will be better.
And so the previous price hikes that we were supposed to take because of rising steel prices, so normally we take it with a lag. So as of now, have you taken all the previous price hikes in both the India and Thailand business?
Yeah, but that is a dynamic situation. Currently, the prices have come down. Okay. So there is nothing pending from customer. Rather, we are supposed to now correct the prices.
Understood, sir. And so from Thailand, this quarter we were supposed to start supplying incremental supplies to Bridgestone and Continental. So, I mean, because of lower volumes, can we assume that that has been delayed to next few quarters?
Yeah, Yashovardhan should answer that.
Yeah, I think there is no delay as such, but the overall requirement from these companies have also come down a little bit. So we have got more allocation from Bridgestone, but not from Continental. So there is a delay for 1 quarter in that aspect.
Understood, sir. And so you mentioned that Chinese are selling at competitive prices. So after that 13% rebate was removed, so that gave us a huge benefit in the Thailand business. But now that China has reopened, so still like more companies are getting their supplies from China. But can you give us, I mean, what kind of price realization per ton they are selling their products in Thailand?
See, structurally, to be honest, nothing has changed. The 13% rebate is still not there. So policy-wise, I'm not seeing anything which can have a bigger impact on us in terms of future term. Today, I think it's purely a demand-supply situation. But because China has opened up and domestic consumption will improve. I am expecting prices will improve. Now, what prices China is selling at, it's sometimes unimaginable. They are also selling at a price of $900, $950 in many locations. But somewhere we have to compete. Somewhere we will also leave, because we always aspire to find customers who would give us a better realization. And all the approvals that we are talking of, or all the discussions that is happening with multinational companies, they are not the counters who are selling or who are buying at this price. So only a few Chinese tire companies buy at a very, very aggressive price, but other places prices are much better than this.
So from current levels, do you expect that they can drop their realizations even further, given that, the steel price, we are expecting softening in steel prices. So can they drop the prices even further from current levels? And if yes, then how is it? Do you think it will be viable for them?
No, it's not viable at these prices also, and I think the worst is already over. I don't think there is any chance of it going further lower. We are already seeing, as I mentioned in Q1, our prices are more competitive than Chinese at some counter. So we are able to get back the volumes from customers. But I think the priority is to be present in all counters, and we don't want to lose any customers right now. But price-wise, there will be an improvement only. I am 100% sure things will not go more south now.
Understood, sir. And sir, from the guidance perspective, you mentioned that Mr. Todia mentioned that Thailand will do 14% margins and consolidated basis 18% margins. So, and India business also we are seeing 18% margins. But if Thailand will do 14%, so I'm unable to get how on a consolidated basis we'll still do 18%.
No, India is doing better. India is doing 20%. Okay.
Understood.
And India volumes are bigger. Yeah.
Understood, sir. And so from the customer perspective, with the incumbent customers, which customers are we expecting an increase in share of business for FY24 in India as well as Thailand?
India overall, like I was with CX, they are saying our business plan is 10% higher than last year. And similar is the case with other companies. So I am expecting at least 10% increased volume from Indian counters. Okay. Apart from that, we have also seen import coming from Vietnam and Malaysia last year to the tune of 25,000 tons. So we are discussing with customers, meeting their requirement and ensuring that import is reduced. Okay. So this will give us additional business. What we are thinking of 10,000 tons is not difficult. Yeah. And for Thailand, we have already spoken that new approvals are happening. We have taken a conscious decision not to lose the market share, even if we have to drop the prices a little bit. Yeah.
So most of our in Thailand, most of our prime customers, and specifically one of the biggest customers that we have, which is Sumitomo, July onwards, these tire companies were operating at almost 40-45% of their capacity. July till almost January. February, March onwards, there is a pickup in many counters in Thailand. So, to be honest, almost 6 months in the last year, these companies were operating at half the volume. Even if that improves this year, it will be a rise, which does not include any new approvals that we are targeting. So definitely, I think it cannot be such a bad long period for the tire companies who are operating in Thailand.
I understood, sir. Just one last question. So both in the India and Thailand business. I wanted to understand what is the inventory levels at the distributor levels, and also could you talk about the current capacity utilization of tire companies in India?
Difficult for us. You have to go to tire companies to ask that question. We can talk about the demand projections from them, not beyond that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shikhar Mundra from WeWork Commercial. Please go ahead.
What was the market share in Thailand this quarter, and what was the overall volume in Thailand? The overall market was. Hello.
Do you mean the last quarter?
Yeah, the last quarter. Because I believe there must be a dip in the market share in Thailand, right?
Yeah, there was a dip in market share. I think our market share would, when we compile accurate data of the import of bead wire, I think our market share would come out to be about 16 to 17%. And generally, we do about 24-25% market share in Thailand.
So this dip in market share was due to the one major customer shifting to Chinese players, or it was a.
No, this was because there are 5 Chinese tire companies,
Okay.
Who buy very huge quantity. So we lost on a lot of volumes in those counters, which is a big volume. And this was also because of one of our main customers, Sumitomo, operating at a lower level.
Mm-hmm.
So these would be prominently 2 reasons broadly affecting the counter share, the market share.
Okay. And how are the Chinese realizations as of now? In the last quarter, I understand they were around how much % below our realizations, the Chinese players?
No, it came as a surprise.
Yes.
These same companies were selling, if I give you a broad idea, at about 46,000 baht. And we were also equally selling at those prices.
Right.
But within the quarter, the prices came down by almost 8,000, 9,000 baht from quarter on quarter. So that was not something which was justified. And but these Chinese companies have some kind of an understanding with the local Chinese companies, so there is also a play there. But
Right.
that was the change which happened from quarter 3 to quarter 4.
Okay. So don't you see that the risk of these same Chinese players dumping in India also and threatening our market share over here?
No, exporting from China to India is not that easy. Thailand has been importing from China since ages. But most of the import today is to Chinese tire companies,
Okay.
not the Thai tire companies or Japanese tire companies.
Okay.
In India, we don't have any tire companies like that who would aggressively buy 100% volumes from China. And logistically also, it is not as viable as it is for a Chinese company to sell to Thailand.
All right. And how soon do you think you can scale up this new facility in India, the 60,000 tons? Because we already have a 50% market share in India. So how soon do you think we will be able to scale up this facility?
No, I have been telling about 3 years. It will take 3 years to achieve full capacity utilization in Chennai.
Okay. And how fast is the market growing in India?
I talked about that. They are projecting a 65,000 tons market will go to 1,65,000 tons market, 1,65,000 crores market by 2030.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is based on the economic growth projection or GDP growth we are talking of. Yeah.
All right. And how is the situation in US and Europe looking now? Because I think a lot of demand was affected last quarter.
So US की problem was that the customers were sitting with high cost inventory for a long time because they had bought a lot of material which lended to them at a very high cost. And it was not only the cost of product, it was cost of logistic also.
Okay.
So both have come down. Now the stocks are depleting, and we have seen some inquiries coming in. I think this year they'll start buying again.
Okay.
Europe, now the war, nobody's talking about war. Nobody's talking about energy crisis.
Right.
So Europe demand is picking up. So the tire companies have started exporting big way.
Okay.
As I told you, our customers are saying that their exports is picking up. Of passenger car and truck car, all that, OTR is still under pressure. This is what we hear from our customers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Jain from Nirmal Bang Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking my question. Sir, my question relates to Thailand. What is the margin, EBITDA margin was there in Q4 in Thailand?
Pranay?
Yeah. So EBITDA margins for quarter 4 was around 8.5%. As the quantity was very low, volumes were low, so we could achieve only 8.5% in quarter 4.
So we are not talking about gross margin increasing from here, and with the volume, we will be able to reach to 14-15% margin in the coming year.
No, we are not talking of 14-15. We are talking of maximum 14, which will come from increased volume and improved prices. I think 8.5 or 9 is the worst possible in current scenario.
And this strategy, what you are talking of now changing in Thailand, is that already implemented or you are thinking of it?
It is implemented, but we didn't get volume because it is implemented late. Okay. So quarter 4, in spite of dropping prices, volumes were not available, but we have a good order book for quarter 1, much improved volume for quarter 1.
Okay. So you were talking about around 40,000 volume for current year. So that will be gradual uptick or it can step up because of your change in strategy?
No, it will be gradual. So if we break it down to 4 quarters, I think it is 8,000 tons in quarter 1 we are talking of. And then I think about 10,000 tons in quarter 2 and 10,000, 12,000 tons subsequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any restriction on Chinese company to enter into India or it's just because of logistic reason and you need a lot of approval before entering into any particular country?
वो सब तो है. Lot of approval is required with that. But everybody in India has burnt fingers with Chinese suppliers. Okay. And I don't see there are sentiments to buy from China. Okay. As it is, bead wire is only 3% of tire cost. तो बहुत ज़्यादा दिमाग ही नहीं लगा रहे लोग उसमें. देखिए वहाँ चाइना में there were 4-5 as told you already. In Thailand there are 4-5 big Chinese companies who have a very strong connect with China. So उनके sentiments will always be to buy from China. Okay.
So anytime in past this bead wire used to come to India from China or no?
Yes, it used to come when there were 13% subsidy given by Chinese government. It used to come to India also.
But purely this China situation is more of demand supply situation. We are in connect with the Chinese tire companies also, and strategically for the long term they are committed and we have that understanding that they want to source from the local supplies. But during this period tire companies were also into tremendous pressure when they were operating at 40%, 50%. They also took a lot of desperate measures to reduce cost. So I would term all of this situation as a temporary situation with no permanent damage in the strategy. Maybe last 2 quarters were bad, but from here on, we definitely see an improvement.
It's a last question about the raw material. We are seeing a decline in the raw material prices in the current quarter, Q1, or is it stable?
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, about raw material in India, are we seeing a decline in raw material prices, or these are stable in Q1?
No, little correction in the price. I'll
Little
say 2% reduction
Okay.
in this month. We have bargained with raw material supply.
Okay. Great, sir. Thank you very much for answering the question.
Yeah, thank you, Sunil. Yeah.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and one. The next question is from the line of CA Garvit Goyal from Invest Research. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity again. I was just asking your realization in this quarter was somewhere around 95,000-96,000. So do you think these levels will sustain going forward?
Depends on the raw material price. If raw material is at current level, I think this price will sustain. And if there are corrections in the raw material price, we'll have to pass on the corrections. If there are increases, which has happened in the past. But currently the outlook is that steel prices will remain more or less stable. So
you are saying 95,000-96,000 levels has nothing to do with what the China is doing, right?
Sorry?
These levels of realization. No, I am talking about the overall level. You did around
different, but two companies and two geographies are very different. So I answered about India.
Okay, and what about Thailand?
Thailand, we have talked in detail about Thailand pricing, that we have taken a conscious decision to take a bigger market share, but not at that price. $950 or $1,000 is not our target. We are selling at $1,300 also to our premium customers. But some counters where we left because of the competition, we'll go back to them.
Okay. And so you are saying one major Chinese customer that is getting the bead wire, and at the same time you are saying Sumitomo is operating at a lower level. So that customer is getting the bead wire.
Last year. That was overall last year.
Last year I was talking about this particular Chinese player you have mentioned that is getting the bead wire from China, right? And the other player who is your customer like Sumitomo is operating at a lower level. So this Chinese player is getting the bead wire. That means is that player getting the demand or Sumitomo is not getting the demand? Can you throw some light here?
No, so those Chinese companies are also operating at a much lower volume. It's not that Chinese companies are running at higher volume. As I told you, tire companies also were in a very bad state. So that was the situation.
And now the volumes are improving for both, right?
Garvit, there is a very big difference in Thai tire companies and Indian tire companies. Indian tire companies are selling 80-85% of their product in Indian market. It is reverse in Thailand. In Thailand, companies are selling 70-80% outside Thailand. Okay, so they are exposed to global changes, global pressure. Indian market, Indian economy, Indian consumer, Indian demand supply is not exposed to global, changes so much. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask any questions, please enter star and one. The next question is from the line of CA Vipul Bakwana, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening to all of you. So, sir, one question. In quarter 4 of financial year 22, you informed there is no structural change in the bead wire. During the whole year, do you see anything any update on that, or we are good to go with that?
Structural change means technological change you are talking about?
Technological change in bead wire industry.
Yeah, so there I don't foresee any major disruptive change Of course, there are improvements happening in the product quality. The quality requirement is changing, which is a continuous process. They want higher tensile material with better adhesive strength. All that is happening, but there is no disruptive change or in technology we are seeing right now.
Okay, perfect. And one last question. The Thailand capacity utilization, as we see in the presentation, is around 67% for quarter 4. So what do you foresee for the next financial year? Like, where can it go?
We are targeting 70% capacity utilization of increased capacity. So you have to calculate that Thailand has also increased capacity to 60,000 tons, and we are targeting 40,000 tons of minimum sales from Thailand.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's on my side.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Muthu Kumar from Fidelity Ventures. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the structural changes did you expect from EV shift that will be a boon or ban for your company?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Structural change in?
EV shift. EV vehicles shift in two-wheeler and three-wheeler.
EV tires will EV vehicles will have tires which will be made of rubber. Okay, they will continue to use pneumatic tires. The only little change we are seeing is that they want lightweight tires. They want tires not to make noise, because EV vehicle is noise proof. There is no noise, so even tire noise and tire vibration makes a lot of noise. So tire companies are working on those lines, and there is no change in the requirement of bead wire in those tires also. So as such, we have not. The only big change will be when the population or the number of the EV vehicles increases, because there is an initial data which suggests that the tire consumption increases in an EV vehicle because of the dead weight of the battery. So if that is the case, future requirement of tires will grow at a higher pace. But nothing can be said very definitively today.
Okay, sir. Okay, and when you expect the demand will pick up from Indian context?
No, India demand is there, good demand. The projections for this year, as I said in the earlier question, is the tire business is likely to grow by 10%. This is based on our discussions for annual business plan with all our key customers like MRF, Fiat, Apollo, everybody. So they all have a business plan which is 10% plus last year.
Okay, sir. And in the last year annual report, you told the total capacity will be augmented to 180,000 metric ton. I just want to know what is the total capacity now you possess, both in India and in Thailand?
No, so we have installed capacity of 120,000 tons, 60,000 tons of bead wire in Thailand, 60,000 tons of bead wire in India, and 10,000 tons of other wire. So, and we have done 90,000 tons this year. We are projecting to do 110,000 tons next year.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shikhar Mundra from Vivo Commercial. Please go ahead.
Just a follow-up question. Can I know the name of the Chinese tire companies to which we lost the market in Thailand?
You want to know all 5?
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, so there are 5 Chinese companies. One is Springs Tire, the other is Zhongshe Rubber.
Okay.
The third is Century, there is Linglong, and there is Double Coin.
Okay. All right. And the Chinese bead wire companies which won the market share for us, so do they operate at a similar scale to us, or they are much smaller players?
No, they are much larger players as such in one location.
Okay.
They have much bigger capacities in China.
Okay. Okay. And which are these companies and like what are their capacities? Can you give me an idea?
So dominantly, there are two major companies. One is dominant in bead wire, the other is dominant in steel cord.
Okay.
So there's a company called Shandong Die,
Okay.
who is one of the major suppliers to many companies in many countries.
All right.
And knowing about their capacity is little difficult because what we hear from the market is very different from what is written in their annual report.
Okay.
So, but I would broadly say they must be making about 3 lakh tons or 3.5 lakh tons of bead wire.
Okay. And yeah. Okay. And is this the largest company? Okay.
Yeah, I would say they are the largest capacity in one location.
Okay. And what is our number in like globally in terms of capacities in the world?
As in the previous question, we said we will be 180,000 tons in 3 locations.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what number is that? So I mean,
so we would be the 4th or the 5th largest.
Okay.
No, we never include China in our discussion.
Okay.
Chinese numbers are never reliable and you can never cross-check what they are writing on their website, what they are writing in their balance sheet and what they are telling customers. You will hear very, very different numbers.
Right.
So other than China, we'll be second biggest in the world.
Second biggest. Okay.
After 180,000 tons.
Okay. Okay.
This is not including Chinese capacity.
Thank you. Participants, we request you to please limit your questions to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Suruchi Parmar from NX Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the. Just wanted to have a clarification on what you said on the Thailand part. That for maintaining or getting more market share, you will be doing competitive pricing with that Chinese player. So just wanted to know that to other tire companies which you are selling in Thailand, so for them also the pricing will be cut down, or you will maintain the same pricing with them and other pricing with the other Chinese players?
It won't be cut down for other customers. We will not leave the customer where the prices are low. If it is contributing to our bottom line, we'll start supplying to them also, which we have refrained last year. And I think that is the learning from last year.
Okay. Okay. So like means like you are selling to Sumito, so whatever pricing you have agreed with the Sumito, that will continue?
Yeah. That will continue.
Okay.
That is those orders are 6 monthly basis anyway. So we fill up the RFQ and we get order and pricing confirmation for 6 months. But this Chinese players, what we have been continuously talking about, they bargain every month. Okay.
Okay.
So last year we refrained from that competition, but now we have decided if it contributes to bottom line, we will continue. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Just one more clarification. This Chennai plant, you will start from next year, means FY25 or FY24?
No. It will start in the second half of this year.
Okay. Second half of this year means FY24, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And commercially it will be like starting the Chennai plant from second half?
We will start trial production sometime in August, September. So let's see closer to that quarter. Yeah.
Okay. And this Chennai plant will, the product will be sold in the Indian market, or you will cater to outside India?
Hello? Yeah. No, it will be for customers in southern India and also, customers outside India. It is a port location, so we'll be able to export also from there.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
The next question is from the line of Devansh Shah from Niveshaay Investments. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My question.
Sorry to interrupt here, Devansh. There's some disturbance coming through. If you can speak to the handset, please.
Is it audible? Hello.
Yes, better.
Yes.
So my question is, what is the time lag of raw material changes which is passed to the customers? Can you please elaborate?
I have answered in the past also. It is we buy raw material on a monthly basis and we have price agreements on a quarterly basis. So there is a time lag of 1.5 to 2 months in passing on the price increase on it.
Okay, thank you, sir. The rest of the questions have been answered.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amay from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So just thinking from the perspective of Chinese tire players in Thailand. So you mentioned that bead wire cost is like 3% of the total tire cost. And say we have a 40-50% differential when it comes to Chinese players. So we are supplying at maybe $1,300 and they are supplying at $950. So 50% differential is there. So sir, if I see it from the tire manufacturer's perspective, that 3% cost will increase to maybe 4.5% of my total production cost. So is that a large enough difference for me to change my supplier?
नहीं देखिए चाइनीज का कोई हिसाब नहीं है. They don't do all this projections, calculations. Their product also sells like this. A Michelin tire will be, say, a good tire of a big car will be $1,000, but a Chinese tire for the same car, SUV, will be available for $600. So we can't do this equation for them.
So from what I understand is maybe it is not about the price, but more about favoriting their, Chinese companies only, that since I'm a Chinese, I'll buy it from Chinese and not so much a factor of.
देखो, frankly, वो किसी के दोस्त नहीं है. वहाँ कोई लॉन्ग टर्म पार्टनरशिप, लॉन्ग टर्म रिलेशनशिप इस तरह का बात नहीं होता है. वो तो हर महीने कोटेशन लेते हैं और अगर ये प्राइस दो तो माल भेज दो, नहीं दो तो जय राम जी.
Okay, understood.
They are more of opportunists. So we will also be opportunists. हमारे पास स्पेयर कैपेसिटी है, वायबल होगा उतना माल देंगे.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sailesh Raja from Batliwala & Karani for closing comments.
So thank you all for attending this session. We especially thank the Rajratan team for their time. Sunil sir, would you like to make any closing comments?
Yeah, thank you once again for your interest in Rajratan. Okay, we are a company which is working on a lot of other things, improvement in business internally. We are focusing on a lot of improvements which will give result in long term. So, and we are also a company which is learning from our mistakes also. So this year you will see growth in business. Definitely, for some reasons we have not been able to grow last year. So keep watching us and keep looking at Rajratan. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Batliwala & Karani Securities India Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.